I gotta assume it's crazy in LA right now. This is real big news. It sprawls well into the hip hop industry as well because the Rollin 60s and Big U, he's got a lot of friends. He's tapped into a lot of people, a lot of areas. His name is very well recognized. And for him to get hit with RICO charges, they say he's a fugitive right now, and they're still searching for him. And when it comes to Bricc Baby and Loose Cannon, as far as the Rolling 60s that have all been grabbed up amidst all of this roundup currently going down in LA, they are now in custody. Most of us were just watching them this very morning. They're exclusive with Loose Cannon and Bricc Baby sitting across the table from each other on No Jumpers podcast. Uh, this is wild, child. Let's listen to the actual presser for this, and we'll talk about this after.
Good morning. I'm Joe McNally, the acting United States Attorney here in Los Angeles. Today, we're here to announce federal criminal charges against Eugene Henley Jr., a career criminal known as Big U, who used his contacts and leadership role in the Crips criminal street gang, the entertainment industry, and a youth charity to further his own criminal enterprise, an enterprise that engaged in murder, extortion, robbery, human trafficking, COVID fraud, and other felonies. Mr. Henley and several other individuals linked to him and his criminal enterprise were charged in a criminal complaint with federal racketeering conspiracy. Mr. Henley is a fugitive, and he is currently wanted by federal law enforcement. Other individuals linked to his criminal enterprise were arrested today, approximately 10 defendants who are charged in various indictments. Again, Mr. Henley is a fugitive. 4 defendants are in state custody and will be transferred into federal custody, and we are still seeking Mr. Henley and another fugitive. The Department of Justice's top priority is eliminating violent crime caused by criminal street gangs and organized crime. These organizations cause a tremendous amount of harm in our communities. And today's arrests are part of our office's efforts, FBI, IRS, LAPD, the team you see up here, to make our community safer and rid our streets of these criminal street gangs, including ones operated by violent felons like Mr. Henley, who are posing as savvy businessmen and community leaders, but in the end are violent criminals. The affidavit filed with criminal complaint alleges that Mr. Henley operated Big U Enterprises, a mafia-like organization that utilized Mr. Henley's stature and long-standing association with the Crips criminal street gang and other gangs here in Los Angeles to intimidate businesses and individuals in our communities. I want to stress that the allegations here in the complaint are allegations only, and the defendants are presumed innocent until proven otherwise. Let me talk a little bit about Mr. Henley and the street gang here. As I said, Mr. Henley is a widely known leader within the Rollin 60s. He rose to prominence in that gang decades ago, and he has since been a fixture on the internet, talk shows, and podcasts, all things that law enforcement have looked at closely as part of this investigation. He has maintained the image of an entertainment industry entrepreneur, running a music label, and of somebody who gives back to the community here in Los Angeles, funding a South LA-based charity, developing options, which purports to help at-youth risk escape gang life and escape the perils of gangs in high-crime areas. The facts alleged in the complaint paint a very different picture. It is one of a murderer, a thief, a liar, and a cheat, and the criminals that enabled him. For example, Mr. Henley engaged in a murder of a musician signed to his label in 2021 and dumped the victim's body in Las Vegas off of the I-15 freeway. He then attempted to evade and obstruct the investigation into the murder, including ordering witnesses not to speak with law enforcement. Henley's criminal enterprise also engaged in other crimes, including transporting prostitutes across state lines, extorting strip clubs, marijuana dispensaries, and other businesses, and fraudulently applying for COVID loans in the form of a business relief loan. On that application, Mr. Henley falsely stated that his music label, Unique Music, operated at a $200,000 profit in 2019 and was entitled to government assistance, despite the reality that the company had operated at a loss and was ineligible for such relief. Finally, Mr. Henley is accused of embezzling donations made by celebrities, professional athletes, and businesses to his charity, Developing Options, which, as I said, purports to give South LA at-risk youth alternatives to gang violence, drugs, and other criminal activity. Henley used this charity as a front. He used it to conceal his fraudulent activities, his criminal enterprises activities, from and evade detection from law enforcement. If convicted on the racketeering conspiracy, he and his co-conspirators face approximately a 20-year federal prison sentence. I want to thank our federal law enforcement partners, our state law enforcement partners who brought about the result here today. The Los Angeles Metropolitan Gang Task Force from the FBI. It's comprised of FBI agents, LAPD officers, IRS Criminal Investigation, U.S. Department of Justice Inspector General's Office, Los Angeles Police Department, the North Las Vegas Police Department. This case is a great example of state and federal law enforcement working together to address harm from a criminal enterprise. I also want to thank our prosecutors, Assistant U.S. Attorneys Kevin Butler and Jenna McCabe, for their diligence and dogged determination in this case. With that, I'll turn it over to our next speaker, FBI Special Agent in Charge, Ted Dox.
Thank you, Joe. Absolutely. My name is Ted Dox, Special Agent in Charge of FBI Los Angeles' Criminal Division. These operations are truly a team effort, and I would like to recognize those partnerships. If not for their commitment, dedication, and follow-through, we would not be here today. First, I'd like to thank LAPD, IRS Criminal Investigations, and the U.S. Attorney's Office for working collaboratively for the past 4 years. In this case, with FBI Los Angeles Metropolitan Task Force on violent gangs. I'd also like to thank the U.S. Marshal Service for their assistance today, and many departments in California, Arizona, Nevada, and the North Las Vegas Police Department. Now, this morning, hundreds of agents and officers, including multiple SWAT teams, executed multiple arrest warrants for many of the 19 defendants charged in this case. Search warrants were executed at 6 locations. Those searches continue to be underway. 4 of the 19 defendants were already in custody, and 10 defendants were taken into custody in the last 24 hours. And while we're still seeking the whereabouts of 5 individuals, 3 of whom we believe we will have in custody shortly, 2 defendants are considered fugitives. They are Eugene Henley Jr., also known as Big U, and Brian Mejia. We will provide their photographs to the media following this announcement. Anyone with information as to their whereabouts should not take action on their own, but contact the FBI. You can reach us by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI. During this investigation, we recovered 49 weapons, 5 pounds of methamphetamines, 10,000 fentanyl pills, and large amounts of cash. The Rollin 60s Crips have been around for decades, and by some estimates, are among the largest gangs in the country, with factions in multiple states. Mr. Henley has been a known member of the Rollin 60s Crips since the 1980s, where he established his reputation and earned standing with fellow gang members. He has been able to use that standing to intimidate businesses and individuals and to commit various forms of violence, including the alleged murder outlined by the U.S. Attorney. He's also been able to influence others to give him money, only to defraud his victims, including defrauding the U.S., the government, the city of Los Angeles, and you, the taxpayer. Before I close, I'd like to ask that anyone who has information about the alleged criminal activity or feel that they have been victimized by any of the defendants, call the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. We've targeted this gang in the past and will continue to target gangs who seed violence and fear in our communities. The FBI will never waver on our commitment to combat violent gangs and those individuals affiliated who prey on others. Today's arrests make neighborhoods across our city safer. Thank you. And with that, I'll turn it over to IRS SAC Tyler Hatcher.
IRS, damn.
Good morning. Again, I'm Tyler Hatcher. I'm the Special Agent in Charge of IRS Criminal Investigation here in Los Angeles. Today's arrests are the result of outstanding investigative work by law enforcement partners from LAPD, U.S. Attorney's Office, the FBI, and my office, who's worked tirelessly to find the evidence necessary to charge those who are alleged to bring harm to our communities, as you've heard previously. The RICO charges against Mr. Henley and his associates reflect a pattern of crimes that runs the gambit from extortion to robbery to murder to tax fraud and to human trafficking, all under the umbrella of a well-organized criminal organization led by Mr. Henley. Additionally, Mr. Henley duped the County of Los Angeles by running a nonprofit named Developing Options, which was set up to pull youth out of the gang life and promote anti-gang solutions. Yet Mr. Henley continued to personally orchestrate violent gang activity that impact our communities. Donors trust that their donations will be used in a manner that's consistent with what the charity was set up to do and applied as intended. In this case, it was for the benefit of at-risk youth. Financial transactions leave a trail, and IRS criminal investigation special agents are the best at following that trail. The trails allegedly lead to Mr. Henley's personal bank account, and the money trail doesn't lie. Organized crime victimizes our Los Angeles communities far too frequently, but the arrests made today demonstrate our commitment to making Los Angeles safer for everyone impacted by these criminal enterprises. IRSCI is proud to partner with our federal and state and local law enforcement partners to make our communities safer and to protect from these violent acts. And on that, I'll turn it over to Chief.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here today. I'll keep my comments brief. From day one, the Los Angeles Police Department has been proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with the FBI and our partners here today in this critical investigation. The invaluable expertise provided by Operation South Bureau FBI Task Force on the Rollin 60s criminal street gang has played a pivotal role in securing these 19 federal indictments laid out this morning. It's a major step forward in our ongoing fight against gang violence and brings hope and relief to a community that for too long has endured far too much. Together, we will continue to protect and serve, working tirelessly to ensure safety in all of our neighborhoods. I'll return the U.S. Attorney, Joe McNally, for any questions follow-up.
We'll take any questions.
So Henley is still on the loose?
He is.
Do you expect to snag it today, or is this something where he's gone?
Yeah, I think all I can say is that look, he is the leader here, and we're looking for him and trying to find him as a fugitive at this point, and we're using resources to try to track him down.
Is that how the other arrests made?
The arrests were made this morning, and early this morning.
And that's of the more than this whole group you have investigated.
So there were a number of arrests, I think roughly 10 this morning, and then there are other individuals who were in state custody that are being transferred into federal custody. But approximately 10 arrests were made this morning.
I think you mentioned it earlier, but what kind of penalties are trying for them?
So a federal racketeering conspiracy complaint that's charged here 1962D covers up to 20 years in federal prison. The next stage here would be that Mr. Henley and others would be indicted by a grand jury, and the penalties at that point could range and include higher penalties. So at this point, he's charged in a criminal complaint.
Is he charged with murder too?
He's charged in a RICO conspiracy, and part of that RICO conspiracy, one of the predicate acts is the murder that is described in the complaint. He has not yet charged in an indictment with a substance.
You mentioned the taxpayers were defrauded. Can you tell us how much taxpayer dollars he obtained from what city leader or official? And what does this mean for groups that are working on anti-gang efforts and trying to get donations from celebrities or something?
Sure. So I think just to kind of go back, Mr. Henley and the allegations are here, operated a criminal enterprise. He used his status in LA as a gang member, somebody who was known as an enforcer, in order to execute the crimes that are described in the criminal complaint. As part of that, and to get your question, he also had this charity and held himself out there to be somebody who was committed to reducing gang violence, committed to supporting youth in the city. As part of that, he received grants from government agencies to do that work. And as we describe in the criminal complaint, he used that goodwill to benefit himself. He diverted money from that charity and lined his own pockets with it. And that money was ultimately traced, and that we can show that he used it for personal purposes. So there was an embezzlement angle to this, to the criminal enterprise, where hundreds of thousands of dollars were siphoned off that should have gone to charitable purposes, gang reduction, gang intervention. Instead, he used it for his own purposes, his own criminal enterprise. In addition to that, there was tax loss. And like many of our cases, we ultimately do a financial investigation, and we see that embezzlement and that siphoning happens often. There's a parallel tax conduct that is also described in the complaint. So you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars that the charity ultimately siphoned off for his purposes. It was a charity that he controlled, and again, held himself out there to be somebody in our community who was, as Chief McDonald said, these communities, it's oftentimes our poorest communities that need intervention the most. They need law enforcement the most. He held himself out as somebody who was part of that team trying to improve South Los Angeles. And the facts of the indictment and the wiretap calls that we intercepted as part of the investigation that are described in the complaint, not the indictment, the complaint, describe that contradiction. That on the one hand, he's Mr. Charity, and on the other hand, he's engaging all this criminal conduct. That's set out in the criminal complaint.
And so it's outlined in the criminal complaint specifically what government agency gave him money.
It's outlined that he got grant money. I believe that money flowed through the city of Los Angeles, but I don't have the specifics in front of me. What I can tell you is that typically, grants flow through the state and then eventually, are typically issued through the city.
And to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Did you say the name of the charity? Are you allowed to say that?
Yeah, the charity I referenced earlier is developing options.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Last question.
I apologize. Just reference to find Mr. Henley. Do you have any idea about his potential whereabouts, or any more that you can tell us on?
No, other than he's a fugitive, and he's being sought by law enforcement, and we're obviously looking for him as we would any fugitive who's engaged in the type of conduct that's alleged here.
Believe to be in Southern California. No idea.
We believe that he may be in Southern California, and for that reason, we're providing his picture and encourage anybody to contact the FBI who knows his whereabouts.
All right, thank you very much. The press release is out. There's a copy of the complaint and affidavit that's attached to the email that it was sent out if you need.
We got a lot to talk about, and I got some more stuff to bring up here as well. Brief intermission, people, in between videos and articles that I'm going to reference. Shout out to Misa718. Thank you for supporting the Sorry It's True podcast over here and what we got going on. Misa718 says, this is what happens when you promote your violence for clout. And everybody else that has been promoting violence for clout, they're shaking shit in their boots right now. All of them. Fucking Adam 22's like, am I wrapped up in it? Can I be charged with anything? Am I abating any? Everybody. The affiliations is a topic within itself. We'll save that for a second. But one thing I want to get to during this intermission, man, I want to get into The Wire, right? I know y'all hear me talk about The Wire so much and that it's my favorite show and favorite piece of TV of all time. You see, I got Stringer Bell behind me, right? The little pop right there, that's Stringer Bell, okay? You see, a lot of that press conference was targeted towards fraud, money. They brought somebody up from the criminal division of the IRS. A lot of youth funding and money that was wrapped. When we say that art imitates life, I think such a beautiful, I'm like a forever Wire promoter, as you guys see, but there's such a beautiful depiction in The Wire about how Lester was chasing the money. It wasn't just about the street corners and these motherfuckers doing these nickel bag hand to hands. You could pick them up on a charge any day of the week, right? Where does that go? Then after that level, where does that go? Who's the suppliers? We start getting into politics, and next thing you know, we meet a character like Clay Davis, and this is like the money's getting routed into these back offices of politics and these mayors and these councilmen and shit, right? So you have these youth organizations and you have these nonprofit organizations. And when somebody like a Big U has influence, when he has clout, when he could tap you on your shoulder, and because you are Big U, people want to be affiliated. They want to be cool with you. They want to be in your good graces. You know, they want to be able to tap in with you too. This is the type of shit that we see, because I feel like this was referenced more than the damn murder in the press conference, routing the money. And you see right here in this post, they said Big U is also accused of allegedly defrauding companies, donors, athletes, and celebrities, including Draymond Green and Shaquille O'Neal, persuading them to donate to his charities and later allegedly transferring the money to his own personal bank accounts. Following the money. To be honest, I be feeling like these big RICOs that think about blue collar crime, right? Some of these blue collar motherfuckers like tax evasion, well, not tax evasion, but identity theft, especially like post 9/11. Some of that shit you be getting football numbers for like you caught a body. And the guy is talking like this is years in the making. They don't create a case like this overnight. This is why people you could never get comfortable if you're doing dirt or if you're attached to dirt. Just like Little Dirk. I think he felt it for like at least a year, like, something's weird. He started rapping about it. He saw it around the corner. He felt that it was coming. Tried to clean up his act, start pushing the peace movements with Jay Maine and all that. He felt it. He rapped it. He said it. If you're dirty, they're going to come sooner or later. And that's another thing too about trying to wash your money or trying to move over now into a positive side. Like, okay, I'm on pictures and cameras a million times throwing up the 60s and all. I'm talking about Big U, like there's pictures of him. I could have put that in the thumbnail. And everybody knows you as this big gang leader. That's your reputation. You still, even in current day, talking about the gang. You probably at the hood days and all this shit. They snapping pictures of you there and all that type of shit too, building a case. Because when they come at the Gottis of the world, they got years and years of backlogged evidence. They don't put this shit together overnight. But even when you try to say, I'm clean now, no. Because when you start to flip this shit into your nonprofits, if there's anything dirty in there, if there's anything that turned back around into your own personal pockets, wait a minute, IRS got you. Tax got you, evasion got you. This blue collar crime code was tripped. They spoke about the money and the nonprofits and the fraud and the COVID scamming more than the fucking murder. Damn near should be offended. People it's like It was allegedly a up and coming rapper that they say they dumped over the on the side of the road or whatever, or over a bridge or whatever in Las Vegas. Allegedly, I just quick mention. Everything else was focused on what? To them, that's probably the power play. Bring down all these little structures or whatever. And here's another thing: stay in there. Scamming. When y'all do these little, you know, these little side hustles and shit, like let's say PPP loans, or COVID is doing relief for businesses. And because your ass got an EIN number from an LLC that you started, you go ahead and file for some relief, and you file this shit inaccurately, and you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. And look, when did COVID relief? I pulled it up real quick. COVID relief started going out in 2020. We're here in 2025. They want their money still. That's insane. That's insane. All right, let's pull this article right here. Once again, shout out to Meza718. Let's pull this article up and see if there's anything in here that we didn't necessarily hear in the presser directly. Wow. I know LA is on fire right now, B. All right. Fed searching for alleged South LA Crips leader, music exec accused of mafia-like crimes. Let's skim it. I'm not going to OD. I just want to skim it. Okay, Eugene, that's Big U, 58 years old, known as Big U, has been charged with RICO. The Department of Justice said he ran a criminal enterprise that committed a series of racketeering crimes, including extortion, human trafficking, fraud. That's one thing I didn't hear anything said about in the presser. We didn't hear anything about the trafficking, the human trafficking. They didn't make any reference to what. See, when they talked about the fraud, and then they even had a name of his nonprofit company, they talked about COVID relief scamming. When it came to the murder, they talked about an actual person that they didn't give his name, but they said, an up and coming rapper that was, his body was discarded in Vegas. But when it comes to sex trafficking or human trafficking, we didn't hear any details about that yet. And I looked before I cut the stream on. I tried to find the paperwork. I tried to find the indictment. It looks like, at least as of the moment, it's sealed. Looks like it's sealed thus far. So we'll wait for that. But 2 other alleged members of the organization, these, I guess, are higher up guys based on their age. They got to be OGs. Sylvester Robinson, 59, a.k.a. Vay of Northbridge, and Mark Martin, 50, a.k.a. Bear Claw. Y'all see the thumbnail, right? Obviously, the other 2 people, Luce Cannon and Bricc Baby, are in custody as well. But I guess even articles like this, that they're focused on the primary targets. Big U, obviously. All right, the allegation in the complaint unsealed today. This says unsealed. Why did I didn't find anything unsealed yet, people, but we're going to keep looking. Don't worry, we'll get to it. We'll come back and do a paperwork read later on. Maybe tomorrow by then we could find everything that's fully unsealed. Said 10 Rollin 60s members and associates who were arrested Wednesday. See, the thing when we're watching Luce Cannon and Bricc Baby on No Jumper this morning, Luce Cannon was telling, like, him and Luce Cannon and Wack 100 just got into it because he was mad that Wack 100 ran content on him when he was allegedly swatted. So there's got to be a connection here. Maybe, dude, you wasn't swatted. That was really a SWAT raid attempt, and maybe they just missed him. At least that go round. There's no fucking coincidence in the world that you're gonna make me believe that he got swatted. He went and did an interview, and then shortly after the interview, they came and got him. The SWAT came and got him for real. No, they just missed you the first. You thought you was getting swatted. You should have made sure you spoke to a couple people and figured out what that was. Did he walk right into the shit? I'm not trying to say that he was going to get fall. We're going to see Big U get apprehended pretty soon. He's not going to, what is he going to do? He's going to pull a Osama bin Laden and hide under rocks. But like, they always get their man. It's just a matter of time, right? This is a new era. This is a new day. It's a new age. They will get their man. But Luce Cannon, you wasn't swatted. We was just watching that shit this morning. Wow. Meanwhile, authorities are looking for 5 other defendants, 3 of whom are expected to be in custody soon. 2 defendants, including Big U. Okay. Big U allegedly ran a mafia-like organization in Los Angeles, according to the DOJ, since 2010. Once that's 15 years, people. Big U Enterprise. So this company name, they're in the weeds of the money, the activity, the records, the contracts, the affiliates, everything. This is why not just crime scares me, but being affiliated with people that are really, really active in serious shit. Because for 15 years, if you cross paths in any way criminally with this shit, Big U Enterprise, you just don't know. And even if you aren't on the target to get picked up, you don't know if you come up during court. You don't know if you get told on. You don't know if you just happen to get mentioned somewhere along the. You got to shake in your fucking boots behind this shit. I see comments in the chat saying, yo, the streets is dead. Y'all can have it. I'm telling you, it ain't worth it. I mean, if it's a last resort and it's either I'm going to die in a gutter or I got to get out there and figure out a way to fucking, I mean, I can't overjudge. I can judge, but I can't overjudge. But people find a legal way. 15 years. Who else is going to get caught up in this 15 years of Big U Enterprise? Group operated as a mafia-like organization that used his association with the Rollin 60s and other street gangs to intimidate businesses and individuals in LA. I mean, are we going to ignore the actual fact that the whole public says, all right, now if I'm going to go to Houston, I might got to check in with maybe the Prince family, Jay Prince. If I'm going to go to LA, who am I going to check in with? Probably somebody like a Big U. These are the names that they say. We rap about it. We joke about it. We podcast about it. They talk about it themselves. And the feds and everybody just got to sit there and listen to this. And they don't care about none of this for 15 years, right? Incredible. The amount of incrimination that's on the internet is incredible. Alleged murder of up-and-coming rapper in 2021. Let's read and see if we get a little bit more details in this. The DOJ, Department of Justice, Department of Justice said in January 2021, so this is 4 years ago, Big U allegedly murdered a man identified in court documents as RW. Okay, so they didn't even release his full name yet. An aspiring musician signed to Unique Music, which is Big U and Martin's music label. I'm pretty sure that's easy to find once you track down those two companies and just associate the initials RW or the rap name RW. Shortly before the rapper's death, Big U and Unique Record paid for RW to travel to Las Vegas to record music at a Grammy Award-winning music producer's studio. So they know who that is. A Grammy Award-winning producer's studio. That person's name's gonna come up. That's crazy. We got to stay away from people that are this active or have these type of reputations. I don't want to tap in with you. I don't want to be cool and have Big U in my video or Jay Prince behind me. I don't want to look cool because I'm able to do something or put my arm around the shoulder of Big Meech. I'm cool. If you got that amount of police looking at you, knowing you, giving a fuck about putting you in jail, I don't want to be associated with you. But y'all want to stand next to these people because you think it's cool. It gives you clout. It gives you strength. It makes you strong. They're all under investigation. And if they're not, they will be, because the chatty patties is 24/7, whether it's in the form of being in the box and snitching or whether they're on fucking Clubhouse talking about crimes every fucking day. What? Grammy Award-winning music producer studio. We're going to hear that name. The Department of Justice said. However, authorities said RJ did not record at the agreed upon rate and instead recorded a defamatory song about Big U, causing Big U and Robinson to travel to Las Vegas to confront him. Big U allegedly drove the rapper to North Las Vegas, shot him in the head, and dragged the victim's body off Interstate 15 into the desert and left it in the ditch or in a ditch. Now, people, how the fuck do you have that type of detail if this allegedly happened when? Hold on. 2021. If this allegedly happened 4 years ago, how did you have that amount of detail? He recorded a song dissing you. You drove to go pick him up down 80. Interstate 85 or whatever. You shoot him in the head, dump his body, all allegedly. How did they come up with this type of detail of information? I'm just saying, when 2 and 2 equals 5, y'all let me know. Then we'll have a different conversation, and I'll ask a different type of question. Big U allegedly later ordered witnesses to not speak with law enforcement about the rapper's murder. How do you know that? Probably because a witness spoke to you. Alleged COVID fraud. The Department of Justice also said Big U allegedly submitted fraudulent application for a pandemic relief loan in which he claimed that Unique Music was operating at $200,000 profit in 2019, despite operating at a $5,000 loss that year. I guess that's easy to pull. You saw in the press conference who came up there as well. The criminal department from the IRS. Paperwork. Routing papers, routing the money. Routing contracts, routing signed agreements and requests. The blue collar, it's like blue collar crime is so fucking hefty these days. You got murder, you got street shit, you got fraud shit, and you got blue collar shit they're coming at you for in this RICO. Think about it. K Flock is fighting that shit too. He might have his verdict tomorrow. He's got street shit and murder shit in his RICO, and then they also got, what is it, like a wire and like bank type of fraud or whatever, right? Wow. His group also allegedly defrauded donors to nonprofit entities under the control of Big U Enterprise, including Big U's charity, Developing Options, which would help young people stay away from gang violence and drugs. The Department of Justice also claimed Big U embezzled large donations that celebrities and companies made to the nonprofit, which Big U would put in his personal bank account. Now, putting something in your personal bank account is beatable based on how you use it, I want to assume, because some people are just go about things in an incorrect manner. For example, hey, Shaq, give me $250,000, please, for my nonprofit. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he gives it to you and you deposit it into he writes you a check and you deposit it into your personal bank account. You withdraw it from your personal bank account, or you have receipts for what you purchased that is pertaining to the nonprofit. You should be able to show those things. Like anything that I purchase that's for RBE or for the Sorry Shoe podcast, I keep record of every year. Like the way I file my taxes, you would think I got the see-through fucking green visor on and everything. I look like that when I do my taxes because I try to be super auditing of myself throughout the whole year. Just keep track. Home fix-ups, write-offs, RBE shit, Sorry Shoe podcast stuff, yada, 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 yada. And you got to keep these type of records. There are, when you file certain shit, whether it's nonprofits, IRS shit, when you file certain things at a certain amount, yeah, you don't have to have proof. If I don't have a receipt for donating $500 worth of clothes to a church this year, it's okay. But if I say I donated $500,000 worth of clothes, yeah, they're going to say, show me the fucking proof. So when he puts that money in his personal bank account, if he's got proof that that money was still used for the nonprofit, you beat stuff like that. I guess because they target you initially by saying personal bank account should be a business bank account. But just because somebody is using a personal bank account, but they're using the money correctly, that's supposed to be beatable to me. I don't know if it's a charge because you use the wrong type of bank account. It's how you use the money that is the big problem. You know what I'm saying? According to the complaint, Developing Options is primarily funded through the city of Los Angeles's mayor's office through a gang. What? I don't even got to finish that sentence. What? Wasn't I just talking about The Wire and Clay Davis? That youth program ran through the mayor's office? Oh, hold the fuck on. Let's reread that. According to the complaint, Developing Options, which I believe is, they're saying is his nonprofit, one of his nonprofit organizations, Developing Options is primarily funded through the city of Los Angeles's mayor's office through the Gang Reduction Youth Deployment Foundation, portions of which receive federal funding but also receives donations from prominent sources, including NBA players. So the NBA players, we already brought that up. That's people that they're saying allegedly is like Shaquille O'Neal. That's donations. Donations and funding, different thing. Every year, you know, the mayor and the city has a budget, right? X amount of money we put to the side to budget for funding gang violence or youth programs or nonprofits and whatnot. Getting a donation, we can get that out of here, me and my lawyers. Shaq gave me that money. Hey, Shaq, we want you to give us a written statement or come testify or whatever. Why did you give Big U this $250,000? I gave it to him because I respect him. Are you sure you didn't give it to him for his youth program? Shaq ain't gonna tell on you. Shaq gonna be like, nah, I gave it to him because I respect him. All right, we don't got Big U on that. Donations, cool. Funding, federally funded through the mayor's office program, and you misuse money that is routed through the mayor's office federal funds. This reads scary to me. I'm telling y'all, like now I'm doing exactly what just happened in the press conference. How fucking ironic. And I'm doing it accidentally. It feels like they're after him for more on some blue collar shit than they are the murder. I mean, either one, they're gonna fuck around and put 20 plus on the table. But Jesus, like, Big U, I hope that ain't because they would route that and figure that out and that type of man. The RICO charges against Big U and his associates reflect a pattern of crimes that runs the gambit from extortion to tax evasion, all under the umbrella of a well-organized criminal organization led by Big U. Said special agent in charge, Tyler Hatcher. There goes the special agent that's been assigned to your case and been following you around probably for the last 5 years. IRS Criminal Investigations Los Angeles Field Office. Additionally, Big U allegedly duped the county of Los Angeles by running a charitable organization that promoted anti-gang solutions while continuing criminal activity that was directly contrary to his charity. IRS-CI. What? That's not CI as in confidential informant, is it? IRS-CI is proud to partner with fellow law enforcement organizations. Okay, now that's got to be something else. That's not confidential informant. I'm about to say, what? IRS confidential informant? Organizations to investigate these criminal organizations to protect our communities from further harm. If convicted, Big U would face life in prison. This sounds like, I mean, his age, you got to remember when you're the age that he is, I think they say he's like 57 years old, 20 years kind of can register like a life sentence. You know, if you're 20 years old and you get a 20-year sentence, that's not considered life. But, you know, you got like the natural life type of expectation. No disrespect. It's just a thing that happens based on how old you are versus how many years you get. Martin would face a maximum sentence. That's the other person of 20 years. Oh, man. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It is bad. Gang nonprofits routed through the federal mayor's office, they're saying. Tax fraud, charity fraud via youth programs, as well as donations. COVID fraud from 2020 is when COVID relief started happening. That's like 1, 2, 3. That's 4 different types of fraud they're claiming with the murder. We don't have any details yet, but sex trafficking is mentioned within this RICO as well. Extortion and influence is there. I also seen some of y'all in the chat say Wack 100 is watching closely right now. Let me tell y'all something. Wack 100 is already talking. What would you expect? Any different? Wack 100 was just live on fucking No Jumper with Adam 22 and a bunch of other people. They were just live like 30 minutes ago. And Wack 100 is talking the same. Wack 100, he must not have anything on him as it relates to this level of crime or involvement, or else there's no way. Then again, I don't know. But his level of talk, I don't know. But he's got to be talking that reckless 5 minutes after this indictment came down and shit, because he knows he ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Nothing to do with nothing. Bricc Baby and Luce Cannon. Bricc Baby and Luce Cannon. Early prediction. If they get convicted, and I ain't wishing this on nobody, if Luce Cannon and Bricc Baby get convicted, within 8 months, they're going to have self-snitching compilation videos on them the same way AR Ab does. Shout out to our member, Big Yellow 317. Like you said earlier, snitch for what? They've been talking about crimes left in. Luce Cannon sat next to Wack 100 on No Jumper podcast and broke down a story alleging that Big U was involved in Nipsey Hussle's murder. I'm telling you, when I first saw this shit going on social media, I said, oh shit, it's going down over there. It's going down across the coast. And they said for a murder on a rapper, I said, oh shit, that's Nip. Thank God I was wrong. I mean, I don't want it to be anybody. I'm not trying to say that it's treated lesser because it's a rapper that we don't know. Rest in peace to that man as well. Life is precious. Everybody's life is valuable. But I swore, I'm telling you, when I saw that shit, I was like, oh, is that Nip? Is that Nip? But we're not jumping out the window. It wouldn't be surprising because we're all watching this shit. Some of us are looking at it from like a, damn, y'all are tripping, mixed with the, we're just eating our popcorn. This is entertainment. Mixed with the lesson to learn of shut the fuck up. People's getting arrested. And fast forward, it would actually not shock us if fucking Big U got arrested and they attached Nipsey Hussle's name to it. It wouldn't shock us because we've been getting told about this shit for how long? By people like Luce Cannon, who used to be allegedly a right-hand man enforcer to Big U. So the affiliation is there for him to know some shit or possibly be involved in some shit, right? Yo. Now, last but not least, I see a bunch of people in the chat saying Luce Cannon's telling, Adam 22 is telling, or Adam 22 is the feds. Bricc Baby is a cop. Big U is a cop. We've been hearing this type of shit forever. Wack 100 has been calling Bricc Baby a snitch for a long time. I believe mostly because he had like an AK case, like with a gun that disappeared or got thrown out or he ain't served no time for. What, something around that respect, right? So Wack has been saying that shit about Bricc forever. But Bricc and Wack have this fucking content relationship. It's clear. They talk about it all the time on the podcast. They both work for the same fucking company. They're back and forth between the No Jumper podcast studios. You know what I'm saying? They get on the phone with each other randomly once a month. They say it. We get on the phone once a month. We hash our shit out. And then for the rest of the month, we beef. And then we bring it back down. It's like they have this agreement. We're going to diss each other. We're going to do content. We're going to earn fucking content livings together. We're just not going to go to the street level. That's obvious. Okay. Yet, Wack 100 still says shit about Bricc that is, it's a stain on your jacket to be saying on another man, right? Luckily, they're over there running a soap opera. Is at least them two, Wack and Bricc. Luce Cannon, we just saw Luce Cannon on camera allegedly pistol whipping niggas. Allegedly. Adam 22, you're gonna get it just the same way Vlad does. And you damn near see Vlad is such a good interviewer. He gets the controversial shit that we want to hear. To be honest. So, did you shoot him? Like, it doesn't mean that he's wearing a badge or a wire or he's working with anybody. You know what I'm saying? It's the shit. I don't believe Vlad is a fucking fed or any of that shit. The thing with Adam 22 targets the streets at a different level when it comes to content. He employs the gang members. The 4 extras and the Luce Cannons and the Bricc Babies and the Wack 100. He employs the gangsters and he brings them up there to beef. He'll call them on speaker and all this type of shit. He brings them up there to beef and ignite the hood and to work out their differences sometimes and all this shit. And somebody like him has indirect involvement because you're not going to fucking convince me that either when the indictment gets fully revealed to everybody and or by the time they get to trial and we start hearing all types of details from the state side and the feds, that interviews and streaming segments aren't going to be used. When are they not? We see songs used. We see tweets used. We see posts used. Why the fuck went the No Jumper podcast and Clubhouse and all this shit that they've been saying all these years? Why wouldn't it get used? People, there's no more talking in code. Same podcast shit that we was watching this morning with Luce Cannon and fucking Bricc Baby. They were talking about a situation, but when they linked up and had issues about trying to retrieve somebody's chain or something like that. And Bricc Baby and Luce Cannon, they're doing their best rendition of talking in code. Yet everybody that's watching that fucking podcast episode this morning, we know exactly what they're talking about. The code doesn't matter. Street niggas in the chat, street niggas that's going to watch this stream, I'm trying to remind you, and the world is reminding us, these indictments and these cases are reminding us, speaking in code does not matter. If you get up here and say, yo, I mean, word on the street is he might have went to Lids and bought a hat. They're going to bring you into court, put you on the stand and say, we believe that you meant that you ordered a hit. We're not stupid. And you got to fight that. Talking in code in 2025 doesn't matter. The fact that it's in lyrics and it's supposed to be creativity doesn't matter. The fact that you think it's content on Clubhouse or fucking no jumper doesn't matter. Indictment. They're going to put it in. They're going to put it in. I don't want nothing to do with the streets. And I'm glad. I know so many street niggas. I'm glad that at least 90+% of the street niggas that I know, because I'm old and they still free, a lot of them, and they're alive. They've evolved. They've grown out of it. They've moved further away from it. I'm proud to see that. You have to. You have to. You have to. Your big homies might be getting investigated. Real shit. Your big homies might be about to catch a RICO. Real shit. You might get tied in simply because of your affiliation. Real shit. There's not, listen, we all come up a certain way, man. I swear to God, we all come up a certain way. But when you get to a certain age, when you got kids and family and shit going on, you got to move away from the streets and those type of people. They are jamming us up left and right. And I pray I could practice what I preach. I pray I could practice what I preach, because I want to stay right here in good health, podcasting, staying out the way, maintaining my health, and maintaining my fucking freedom. I pray, man. And y'all should be praying for the exact same.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry Street Podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.
Without my thing, still got a gun.